Alright guys, I know it's been a while since I posted anything, so we're actually getting a little bit of a warmer weather, so I'm starting to try to get back onto the swing of things with finishing up some of these projects. I plan on also starting to post videos not just on the mini truck, but some of my other car projects. You know, and maybe just things like changing brakes that people might not know how to do on certain cars. And you know I always find them helpful when I'm trying to work on the car and I'm not exactly sure how to go about it. So most of it's going to be upgrades, but in any case, this video is going to be for the mini truck, and I'm finally going to tackle the upholstery on the interior. Alright, so the idea is going to be to obviously remove the seats. You know, they're very dirty. You know, it's got this vinyl, hard vinyl material. On the driver's side, guys, this extra padding here for the right corner, I guess because of ingress and egress. That's probably more of a weird spot, but the rip in the seat, or actually where it tore, is actually in this area here. You know, other than that, there's no tears on any of the other seats. You know, it's just the seats are a little bit dirty. The headrests are perfect, but I wanted to do a little bit of an upgrade. So I'm gonna take out the seats, take them to the upholsterer. As far as the fabric, I got kind of a surprise. It's gonna, you know, just an idea I have, but it's gonna be a bit of a surprise. So I'm only gonna show it when the seats are done. But for right now, what I'm going to do is remove the seats. One thing about the passenger seat here is I don't know if it's kind of dark, I don't know if you could see, but basically it has a pouch on the back of the seat. I don't think I'm ever going to use that, so I might eliminate that. We'll see. I'll probably ask the upholsterer if that's a big deal, if that's something that he could do quickly, or if it's gonna add a lot of cost. I'm trying to keep this, you know, as low budget as possible, but still have it look correct. So I feel like taking the seats there is the way to go and get a price with him looking at the seats, because if I tell him I need seats for a pickup, I'm afraid they're gonna give me some crazy price. So the plan is that this way he'll, you know, have the stuff in front of him and it'll be more accurately priced. Alright, so we're gonna start off by removing the driver's seat. So it's only 4 bolts that hold the seat bottom. Basically you got one here by the door jamb. If you come around to the underside of the seat, there is one right here and one here, and then you're gonna have to remove the seat belt, I guess the buckle, to have access to the other bolt that is down there. And if you don't remove this seat belt anchor, basically you don't have access to it. It makes it too difficult. So let's get to it. Okay, so the driver's seat is out. These are basically the anchor points. One here, one there. This is a crossbar for supporting the driver's seat. One back there, and then one inside here where the seatbelt anchors are. So you're gonna have to remove the seatbelt anchor. This guy. For the passenger side, it's a little bit trickier. You don't have to remove this for the passenger side, but the bolts are hidden behind here, and there's 2 on each side. So let me just shine the flashlight on there. See if I could do this with 2 hands. But basically, with the seatbelt, you can kind of see that there is a bracket, that metal bracket. Let me see if I could get a better angle without holding the camera. Alright, I'm gonna show you the right side of the seat, because I just can't hold the camera and the flashlight at the same time on that side. But you see there, you basically what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the seat back over here by the hinge, and I'm pulling it forward, and then you have access to 2 bolts. Kind of see them right there, and that basically attaches the anchor to this back wall. And this side, even though I couldn't get the flashlight in there, it's the same exact thing. So basically you just gotta use a socket wrench with no extension and try to sneak it back there and get the door, get the bolts off. Alright, so I got the base to the passenger side out. So these are the 4 bolts. By the way, all these bolts are 12mm bolts. Use a 12mm socket. You will need a 17mm socket to remove the seatbelt anchor. Other than that, they're all 12mm. In any case, so I thought the back and the backrest, the bottom and the backrest all come out as one piece. I was wrong. So it looks like the back area is actually got another bolt down here, and then it looks like it basically tucks under. It's got some barbs that tuck under this cross beam. So when I take it out, I'll show you. But so basically I got to remove that bottom screw, and then I think the seat slides down and out. So let's give it a whirl. Alright, so you could see on the top of the seat, it's got these wire tabs that basically tab into these 2 slots here. And so they basically tuck in and under, and then the bottom bolt secures it in place. And these are the 2 anchor points for the bottom of the seat. Alright, so I got everything out. The seat back to the passenger side, there's nothing to it. This is super light. I think this is going to be very easy for them to upholster. I don't expect it to be very expensive, but who knows? I don't know what upholstery goes for nowadays. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible for the upholsterer. I don't want him to be charging me extra just because it's going to take the time to remove brackets and whatnot. So I'm actually going to remove this these 2 wires from the headrest back, because this is I mean literally 2 bolts. I'll remove that from both headrests. On the driver's side, I'm going to remove the brackets for adjustability. I didn't even know these seats were adjustable, which is pretty funny because I always see them with the seat as far back as they go. But I guess there's some people that are even shorter out there than me. So basically, I'm just going to remove the 2 brackets. I think all I got to do is basically slide the bracket down and have access to the bolts that bolted onto the seat frame. And on the passenger side base, I think there's just 2 bolts here that secure the brackets onto the this to the actual seat. I think it's just 2 bolts. This one is moves freely. This one has a lever to lock it in place. But I think that's gonna be an easy thing to remove, and if it saves me some money, you know, I say go for it. So that'll be the next step with this. Alright guys, so I have the seats taken apart as far as I could take it. So obviously this is the passenger seat. We don't have the I'm sorry, I take that back. This is the driver's seat. Separated the seat bottom from the seat top, the seat back I should say. There are two, I believe it was 14mm bolts that secure the seat on one side, and on this side is an acorn nut, this guy right here. That came off with a 12mm socket. And then you gotta kind of like unfold the seat and then it slides right out. I tried to tap it with a hammer, but that's not the way to do it. You just basically open up the seat and then it should be able to just slide out. I also took the slider bracket. Basically you just slide it forward. You remove the two back bolts that go here and here, then you slide it back. This is actually the front of the seat, and you remove the two bolts that go there, and that's all with the 12mm socket. So everything comes off. On the passenger seat, I thought that these two screws here on the side would actually remove this whole bracket. It's actually not the case. The two screws just take the plastic cover off, and then the pivot point is actually a rivet. So I didn't want to mess with it, so I just left it alone. I don't think it's gonna be that much in his way, but basically when I take this in tomorrow, instead of walking in with a car interior, I'm just gonna give him a bunch of cushions. I'm thinking that's really gonna bring the price down. If I actually got an estimate already from somebody, and I didn't have these parts out, so what I did is I took a bunch of pictures of the truck and I walked in there and the guy quoted me $1,300. I mean, to me that's absurd. Like, it's just nuts for a bunch of cushions. It's and I was giving him the material, so that's how nuts that was. So but in any case, I don't know what to expect tomorrow. I'm gonna go to this guy and see what kind of price he gives me, and I'm hoping my strategy of taking the interior apart first is gonna work. So in the morning, we'll take these to the upholsterers and see what we get.